Hey guys, welcome to our next product review video. In this one I review the Koolatron 45 bottle dual zone wine cooler. Wow, that was hard to say. I picked this up through Costco and I'll provide the link in the description. As you can see, it's a good size fridge. It's not too big, so you shouldn't have any issues finding somewhere to put it. Unless you have a bar, obviously it's too large to put in that setup. What I like about it though is it's sleek and it's contemporary design and it's stainless steel accents and trim you can see there along the side. On the front panel here is where you control the temperature settings for the dual zone cooling zones. There is also a nice blue LED light that helps when you're looking for the perfect bottle of wine, or maybe you just want to set the mood with that special lady. Either circumstance works fine. So to change temperatures, you unlock the panel first and then you press the up and down arrows on the panel to either increase or decrease the temperature. Right now I'm adjusting the temperature settings on the left, which is for the upper cooling zone. This is the smaller capacity zone than the bottom. So I typically store my white or sparkling wines there. The larger capacity zone is controlled on the right hand side, and this is where I store my red wines. Just a note about the temperature settings. Typically sparkling and white wines should be stored at a lower temperature, so that's why you can see I've set the temperature to around 7 degrees. It also says on the control panel the ideal temperature for storing your wines, depending on whether it's sparkling, white, or red. So it's very helpful. Even if you don't know a lot about wines, the panel will help you determine which is the best temperature. So now I'll open it up. As you can see inside, as I mentioned, it holds 45 bottles, which is a pretty decent capacity. However, and this is a big however, that figure is based on a standard size wine bottle. So if you have large or uniquely shaped bottles, then you won't be able to get that full capacity. There is a tray on the bottom that you can use for larger bottles, but if you have to put them somewhere on the rack, then they won't fit properly. So this is probably the only time I will admit a full rack is not ideal. See what I did there? That was good, right? Moving on then, as I was said, it is a decent sized capacity. And if you look at the side of the unit here, you can see that it isn't too large, which is why I have it in my corner here. Okay, so here's a final look at the front again. I'll turn off the blue mood light here. It's a nice looking unit and it does what it's supposed to, which is to keep the wine cooled and consistent, which is really what you need for longevity purposes. I mean for the wine, of course. Next and final, I'm going to do a recap here of some of the pros and cons of the fridge. So I have kind of my top 3 pros and top 3 cons. For pros, as I mentioned before, the styling, it's really sleek, contemporary. It's got the nice stainless steel accents, so it looks really nice. The interior lights, there's that blue light. It's kind of a nice little touch to have those. So they're handy, especially if it's in a darker area. And the temperature settings that you can go literally from 7 degrees up to 13 is really a nice feature to have, to be able to control that for your either white, sparkling, or red wines. As far as the cons go, there's not really a lot, but for one, it would be the price. It was about $550 at the time from Costco, so that's pretty expensive compared to some of the other ones that you can get. The other thing is the noise. So it's not that it's really that noisy, but the compressor does come on, and until it reaches the desired temperature or your set temperature, there is a bit of noise, as typical, as a fridge would turn on. So it's not a major thing, but it's something to be aware of, if you are having to sit next to it, for example. I have it in the corner, so it's not too bad. It's also in my basement, so it's fine, but I just want to mention that. And finally, the bottle rack. So if you have standard size bottles, you should be fine, but just be aware that if you do have those kind of larger or uniquely shaped bottles, such as sparkling wines typically, or possibly even a port bottle, then it may not fit properly. But other than that, it's a great little fridge, and I would recommend it for anyone that's looking to store their wines. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can see and hear more of our upcoming product reviews. Until then, take care.